Hey guys, this is Juan with the Cine-Men Movie Podcast, letting you know that this episode is brought to you by San Marcos Mexican Restaurants, located right here at 2301 Southwest 59th Street in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Give them a call at 405-685-7773 for a to-go order or dine in and experience the best Mexican food in the OKC Metro. Let them know that the Cine-Men Movie Podcast sent you for an additional 10% off your purchase. And don't forget about that Wednesday margarita feeling. $5 margarita all day Wednesday on the rocks or frozen. It's the perfect medicine to get you through that hump day. Great food and even better customer service. And again, don't forget to let Abel know that the Cine-Men Movie Podcast sent you.
A piece of me?
Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Good morning, Vietnam! I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I feel the need for speed.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
You do? You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Happy Monday, moviegoers, and welcome to episode 205. Welcome to Marcel the Shell, and welcome to the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. I am your host, Juan, and I am joined by the cast, the crew, the fellas. Craig.
Yo, what up, what up?
Zach.
Hey, guys.
Edward. How's everybody's week been? Good week?
Yeah. Busy.
Busy?
It's been all right.
It's been a fun week, guys. I'm glad to be here with everybody again. Episode 205, A24 month, continues on today as we talk about Marcel the Shell with shoes on. It's been a fun week here so far. Episode, really, this is the third A24 episode into the month. We're getting deep already into the month of August. So if you guys want to check out last week's episode, this past week we talked a bonus episode on The Spectacular Now. You can go back and check that episode out from this past Thursday. Me and Nick had a great conversation, I feel like, about a very underrated story and very underrated two great performances. So go check that movie out. You can currently see it on HBO Max. So we are talking A24, and today we're talking all about technically it's their first PG movie. Marcel the Shell.
What about me?
With shoes on. What about you?
I was with the Fall Guy, the Fanboys podcast last Tuesday. So talked Blade 2.
We were gonna get to that, but
okay. Sorry.
No. Let's talk about it for a minute. How was the conversation on that podcast, which is another great podcast that you guys can check out on this YouTube channel, Imasawa Live Productions. The Fanboys, Franco and Manny talk it up every other Sunday, I believe, an episode release.
Yeah, it's about 2 weeks.
Yeah, they you can listen to them review any superhero movie. And Craig, go ahead. You got to review Blade 2?
Yeah, talk Blade 2. We all gave it a pretty decent score. That's my first time watching Blade 2 in its entirety in a long time. And just kind of went about 2.5 hours. So I said, usually the podcasts don't run that long, but I think that was my first time really talking to both of them at length. So nice. Kicked it off pretty well. I should be joining them for future episodes, and it was fun.
Yeah. Like Craig said, they have a bunch of great podcasts on this YouTube channel. I hopped on and I did an episode of Wrestling Tacos podcast. I believe it comes out this week or next week, but the subject matter was SummerSlam 2002. It's wrestling podcast. Same thing. Their podcast goes like an hour. I think we talked wrestling for like 2.5 hours. So some fun
it's just
stuff.
something. It's something we do. Like that's if it's not 2.5 hours, we're not doing a podcast.
It's got to be girthy. We are attracted to girth. What can I say?
We're all girthy guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep going.
Ed's got the thigh slap too.
Yeah. God.
Gunshots. Echo. But no, again, if you guys want to listen to any of our great episodes in the past, go back and check them out wherever you listen to podcasts at. Last Monday, we talked everything, everywhere, all at once. Yeah, I forgot that. And honestly, anybody who did not listen to the Spectacular Now episode last Monday, we had a little bit of a technical difficulty on the microphone settings, so we apologize. It was a live episode. You never know what you get when you go live, especially on location. So you live and you learn. Apology from everybody here at the podcast, but from what I got from the emails, everybody just completely turned up the entire volume, and everybody still enjoyed the episode. So thank you for all that feedback.
It raw.
Sorry, Edward, you were talking over me, or I was talking over you. I don't know. I don't think they heard what you said.
I was saying we keep it raw, like we're real. That's all it is.
Like Edward's thigh slaps.
Hey.
But like I said, you can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts at. The social media is banging, is hooping up every single day. So we're excited. Social media, I think the Instagram is now at like almost 2,400 followers. You guys can follow us wherever you get on social media at facebook.com/the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. Instagram is all one word, the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. Twitter is at Cine-Men405. While you can email us, which is the easiest and fastest way to get a hold of us, CINEMEN921 at gmail.com. We read the emails at the end of every episode. So
Girthy boys, that's right. Who's that? Is that Nick H? The bad
Girthy.
guy?
The bad, yeah, 4K bad guy.
Oh.
To girth.
To girth or
That's
not to girth?
That sounds like a boy band.
Too girthy.
So that's exciting, but you can also find us on the Prescribed Films Network, www.prescribedfilms.com, #the PFPN. Edward, we're getting into some cooler weather, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
We're getting into September. We're also getting into
football season.
Not that. We're also getting into October. Prescribed Films Network is bringing to you Halloween Palooza. Me and Edward are going to be there live from Iowa. We'll have more information as the weeks get closer and closer. But man, that's a Halloween con. That's a horror con that we're pretty excited about. It's just a few, honestly, months away. It's going to be October 7th and 8th. But speaking, I mentioned HBO Max earlier. Craig, it is time to let everybody know that we're getting into some movie news. The biggest news of the day, obviously, in the week, I just found out a little bit earlier. Olivia Newton-John passed away today. Huge star. She's done songs like "Let's Get Physical." She was in Grease, obviously the song that, or the movie that really just ignited her into stardom. Guys, you have any thoughts or comments on the passing of Olivia Newton-John? She was in her 70s, I believe.
Ed, you want to start off?
I was just going to say she was actually battling a certain type of cancer for roughly 30 years on and off, for that matter. It finally took her, for that matter. It won out. So, I mean, tomorrow, once I get home from work, automatically going to put that old classic on. Going to relive that one more time, at least this year, and going to go from there. But, yeah, rest in peace. Simple as that, man.
Zach?
I'm not a Grease fan, so it's not like that's like the first thing that. I mean, I know that's pretty much what she's probably known for, but she won like I didn't know that she actually won 4 Grammys before actually doing Grease. So she was like a big pop star outside of the United States before she did Grease. No, I think the thing that really inspires me is like you said, Ed. She had battled cancer for 30 years, and for a good while there, she was really taking control of the board. She had became a staple for like cancer research and trying to defeat the disease and everything. And unfortunately, cancer had the last word, and she will be missed. John Travolta said a lot of nice things about her. So there'll probably be a lot more
Oh yeah.
memorials and nice sayings and monuments and remembrance of her in the coming days. So, what about you, Craig?
Um, yeah, I honestly only knew her from Greece. I didn't know she did Let's Get Physical. But I think Greece kind of put me on to musical films. It's I never really like came out and was like, yeah, Grease, but I mean, classics. It's a classic movie with classic songs. Grease Lightning. It's just the whole aura of the movie was kind of one of its kind. I feel like I didn't initially when I saw the name, I didn't know exactly who it was, but when I found out, I was like, man, that sucks.
It's been a huge day. Not only that came out today, but Ezra Miller got charged with felony burglary. He's officially done in whatever else he is going to do. But also in the exact same day that came out that The Flash Act 3 is getting completely recut, recharged, and just reshot. And it's going from the universe that they were getting ready to get kicked off into, and this is the big shocker, they are going back to the Snyderverse. So in recent turn of events, DC to me right now is a complete mess right now. They don't know what they're going to do. Movies like Black Adam, nobody knows if that's going to get a continuation. Shazam doesn't know if it's going to get a continuation. There may not be another Aquaman, but all we know right now is that DC is unplugging everything. They're either going to completely reboot the system or they're going to go back
And
towards the Snyderverse.
try to do the Snyderverse right.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to redo the wrong. And again, I don't know if it's even worth trying, if it's worth the money, but also over the weekend, Ben Affleck is bringing in to do reshoots and he's in Aquaman 2. So I don't know what's going to happen, but the next DC film, I believe, is Black Adam.
Yep.
And then after you have Black Adam, I believe you have
Shazam.
Yep.
And then I think
you
after
have
that is Aquaman 2.
And then Aquaman 2, and then The Flash is what? June, right?
Yeah. And I guess now it's getting a theatrical release, or is it going back to HBO Max?
Now I heard it could be both. Right now it's currently still HBO Max, but that's another part of the news that dropped over the weekend. I mentioned it to Nick this past Thursday. HBO Max is gone. Like in the next few months, HBO Max is completely going to be no go. All their content is going to Discovery Plus. So there's going to be no more HBO Max. It's going to be Discovery Plus. All the original HBO content is slowly getting removed. They've already started removing some stuff this past weekend. So
I thought they were converging them. They're doing Discovery Plus and HBO Max.
They're already conversion, but they're just not going to have the name HBO Max. And HBO Max is slowly taking HBO Max original content off. So by the end of the year, it's supposed to be Discovery Plus, and that's it.
So, are the HBO originals going to be on Discovery?
I don't know. Right now, they're already taking some of the original content off of HBO Max. It's been trending all weekend. Some of the stuff that I've read is like, this is the death of Warner Brothers and their streaming sites. This is, I don't know. So HBO Max just kind of seems like it's in a flux right now, just like the DC. So,
I guess when you ran poorly, you ran poorly.
Any thoughts though on the news about DC and Warner Brothers going back to the Snyderverse and adding the Ben Affleck cameo in
Well,
Aquaman 2, and
it's
then now
just
the Flash Act 3 is completely being reshot.
it's just funny that they came out and they were like, "We're not doing the Snyderverse. We're not going forward with it." After, the Snyder Cut came out, they're like, "We're moving forward with other stuff." And then all of a sudden, they're like, "We're not doing the Batgirl movie. We're not moving forward with this."
That pissed a
But
lot
at
of
the
people off.
but at the same time, Robert Pattinson's The Batman just made $1 billion. Like, come on now. Like, again, we talked about it last week. You can have the DCEU and DC films on the side. You can still do that, and I don't think they're getting through that through their head.
I don't think they need to they don't need to worry about a universe. Just create solo films like the Batman. That who cares? They don't need. Not everything has to be like Marvel. Not everything has to tie into a universe. Just make
Yeah.
good content. Because I guarantee you what, even though people are shaking their heads at the Joker 2 and a musical or a dark comedy or
Lady Gaga officially,
Lady
she's
Gaga
gonna be
being in it, like
Yeah.
like you know what? Even though you're shaking your head at that, it's going to be a damn good movie. Why? Because they're letting the director Todd Phillips do whatever he wants and write good content. So I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think there should be, maybe not a universe, but if you're going to have them connected, like, you don't have to make a mega Avengers style direction. You can still have things like we're in Earth 616, just for example, like we know that they're all in the same universe, same Earth, and still go the solo routes. And then if you feel like you're at that point, then you can merge them all. But yeah, stick with solo routes and go that way. And then if you're at a point, then you do it. Then you pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Top Gun has officially passed Titanic on the all times list, so it's now in the top 6. Top Gun's just still making money. It's unbelievable.
In its original run in theaters.
Yeah.
Like, it's still, wow. July to August, 2 months.
Yeah.
You know what James Cameron's going to do? He's going to re-release Titanic so it could just overtake Top Gun. That's how much of it.
What's he going to do? Come out and be like, Top Gun's not a real movie. It's in a universe. Like, that's what he did with Marvel.
You heard Tarantino come out and say he fucking loved Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah,
And-
James Cameron wouldn't do that to Top Gun. Top Gun is
I know,
no
but
different
like,
than-
I know, but that's the shit he pulls. That's
It's
what he
that
did.
stigma.
When Endgame outdid Avatar as the highest grossing film, they re-released Avatar and it's still the highest grossing movie of all time. It's just a dick move. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Avatar. The original Avatar is also going to get another theatrical release in November and December. So it's gonna
yeah,
make
because
more
it's
money.
been so
Nobody
damn
cares.
long since people have seen it.
Nobody
Hey,
cares.
you remember this movie? We're also doing a second one.
Yeah.
But that's all I wanted to bring up to this movie news. Like I said, it was a little jam packed with the DC, HBO Max, Olivia Newton-John. Unfortunately,
Did you see Michael Keaton in the Batsuit in
I
the
did see
leaked
Michael Keaton in the
pictures?
back. Yeah. The good thing about it, even though we're not getting the Batgirl yet, I think it may eventually be an HBO Max or, well, you can't even do it now since they're taking that away. I think it maybe be a Discovery Plus original movie, maybe, hopefully.
No, that'll be weird.
But I heard the script and the dialogue and the movie was just so atrocious that they're just not going to release it. You
But
know?
even who was it? The guy from Clerks and Jay and Silent Bob, Kevin
Smith.
Kevin Smith came out and was like, there's no way it could be that bad. They directed 2 episodes of Miss Marvel, and he said they were good episodes. So
they released
something.
Catwoman.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it's insane, but it is what it is, I guess. Even though it's not a very favorite saying that we like to say here on the pod, unfortunately.
That's what I've had to say all day today.
That kind of Monday
Reset.
for you, huh?
Yeah. It is what it is.
All right, at least it's not just me.
Yeah.
But guys, this episode is also brought to you by OKC Soda Company. It's the craft soda company of Oklahoma with super unique flavors like strawberry shortcake, blueberry acai. You can also try their new flavors like watermelon, and lemonade. It's all made with pure cane sugar and natural flavors. It is the perfect soda here locally to put it in your ice chest for the uh, summer events, or you know what, Labor Day, the last true warm holiday of the year for at least a lot of people in the states, is coming up. So, how about for that Labor Day weekend, get you a 6 pack of OKC soda. You can also check it out at okcsodacompany.com, or you can get them in person at places like Crest Foods, Pruitt Foods. You can also go check them out at 20th North MacArthur here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So, some good soda, guys. Go check them out. And always tell them, email, comment, let them know that the Cine-Men Movie Podcast sent you. And, but guys, let's get into some recent watches. So, Zach, we'll start off with you. Did you check anything out this past week that was kind of fun, worth mentioning? Maybe you'd
Yeah.
recommend?
Obviously, Marcel the Shell that she's on. We're going to be talking about that here in a couple minutes. First Cow, my bonus episode for the month, 8/24, which I think is next Thursday, the 18th, I believe.
Yes, sir.
And Prey, the new Predator movie on Hulu. Checked it out. I liked it. It was definitely a lot better than the last Predator movie.
I think
really
we can
liked.
all honestly talk about it too. Did everybody get to check it out?
Ed, no.
Ed,
No. You can go ahead and take your headphones down, Ed, if you don't want to hear anything that we're about to say.
I'll wave when we're good.
Okay. I mean, truthfully, I really like the concept of going back just to the first Predator kill in like the 1700s, and he's got to fight like a Comanche warrior. I really like that aspect, but overall, I mean, it is just a simple Predator movie. It does have a lot of creative kills, and I think the cinematography was really good.
Oh,
and the lead actress, I thought, did a very good job. So
yeah. For it being a straight to Hulu, which I heard this is getting a physical media release in sometime in November, December.
Mm-hmm.
For it being a straight to physical media release or stream, like the cinematography, like you said, Zach, was amazing. It was shot on location, I believe, in Canada. Yeah. The story was great. Hour and a half, hour 40 minutes. You're in, you're out. You get some amazing rated R kills.
Yeah,
it doesn't have any kind of PG-13 feels to it. The build up to what the Predator actually looked like was amazing.
Yeah.
The old school helmet that was made out of like a skull. When you see him kill the animals, that's what I was really impressed with. When you see him kill all the different animals, the bear
snake, the bear,
yeah. the snake was amazing.
And then what was it? The dog or the coyote?
The coyote,
whatever. He came to him, and then yeah.
It was stunning. Honestly, I gave it an 8. Honestly, over the weekend, and I said it was the best Predator film since Predator 2.
Now, do we feel that way because it was free to watch and we were in our own home? Like, if we paid money to go see it, would you still feel that way? I still think it was good. Okay,
I think it would be good, even on a.
You think in the Dolby it would have been like really nice?
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think
it's by far. I think it's by far the best Predator movie since the original, honestly. Excluding the Alien vs. Predators and all them. So
Predator 2 might give some run for its money. I like seeing the Predator in Los Angeles, but I think, just as at least to me as an OG fan, like I give my hats off to it, honestly. The only thing that I did not like, and that saved it from being a fantastic movie to me, was some of the CGI shots, like the CGI of the bear or the CGI of, which one was really bad? Was it the lion or the tiger?
The mountain lion when they're fighting the tree.
Yeah. Some of the CGI was horrible for a brand new movie. But other than that,
I think if you're going to use your CGI money, you need to use it on the Predator himself.
Yeah. But this was honestly some parts of the Predator was CGI, but most of the time the Predator was they had an actual stuntman dress up as the Predator.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. It was in, you're out. It did the we always talk about horror films kind of prolonging the revealing of the the bad guy. He was cloaked the entire time, kind of saw bits and pieces of the cloaking come undone. Kills were awesome. CGI lacked in some places, but again, if this would have been a movie made in theaters, I think the budget would have been a little bit larger,
Oh yeah.
and you would have got a little bit more to it. But
Yeah.
the cast wasn't huge. It was a storyline. It was a driven storyline, and I think it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really want to I really want to just point out there's a lot of Native American focused content out there right now. Prey, Reservation Dogs just started its second season. I started a new show which I was going to save until I finished it, but Dark Winds on AMC Plus. It's about like a murder on a Navajo Indian reservation. Really good show, like 6 episodes. It's just I got to give my hats off, man. There's a lot of Native American driven and lead content out right now.
And you know what the big difference is? Is it's written, produced, directed, starring Native Americans.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'll go next. I had kind of a large week compared to normal. I got to start season 1 of The Boys.
I've heard that's an amazing show.
It's not bad so far. I'm only 3 episodes in. I know it's going to pick up eventually, but it's not bad so far. I get a lot of Watchmen vibes to it. I checked out the nice, slick steelbook for Men in Black. I honestly think that's just a fun movie. An hour and 20 minutes. I want to talk about it soon. Maybe next month. I think it's going to happen. Checked out Species. It's all right. Checked out a few episodes of Peaky Blinders on Netflix. Checked out May, which is a horror comedy that I did for Friday the 14th. You guys can go back and listen to that episode. The Spectacular Now that I got to conversate with Nick about. Tremendous rewatch. Nothing but good things to say about that movie. Checked out The Mexican with Brad Pitt and Julia Roberts. Really good movie. Checked out Prey like everybody else. Highly recommend that. And then I bought and checked out Bob's Burgers, the movie. It was okay. You don't have to be a Bob's Burgers fan or to know the show in order to watch and enjoy the movie. It was funny. So, and then obviously Marcel the show. So, Ed, what about you? If I had to recommend anything, it would be Prey. The Spectacular Now currently is on HBO Max. And then the Bob's Burgers movies. I believe that's also on Hulu.
Is the Bob's Burgers movies, is it kind of similar to the Simpsons movie? You can just watch it without like knowing anything about the Simpsons or Bob's Burgers.
Yeah. I thought. I'm sorry. I thought I said that. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you did.
You can watch it and not even. I'd never seen a single episode, and I still enjoyed the movie. And you don't have to have any character development. They're just people who are making burgers. So, yeah. Ed, what about you? You check anything out?
Gone ahead and got up to speed on in-game for that matter. Basically started back there for that matter. Res Dogs, caught 2 episodes of that. Pretty much other than that, I watched Marcel the Shell with shoes on, and then watching a newer anime that I just got to pick up. About 7 episodes deep into that one. So,
did you buy it, or is it the one that we're teasing? Yeah, we're teasing.
Yeah.
We got a little teasing project going on here soon.
So
and what is honestly we can say what it is that we're watching. It's Tokyo Revengers, which is currently streaming on
HBO Max.
So, what would you recommend? Would you recommend anything to anybody?
Well, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I remember when we talked in-game last, a lot of us were like, don't know how the watchability was or would be, event kind of thing and all that. My wife has not seen in-game until that time, so it was really, really cool to get her reaction. And, just watching that and then kind of looking back and forth, I mean, yeah, it's been a while, so that was awesome. If you haven't seen that in a while, definitely recommend that. Res Dogs, if you haven't seen that, please catch up. And Tokyo Revengers, man, so far, I recommend it.
I haven't seen Reservation Dogs. Do all three of you guys recommend it for me?
I've heard it's really
I
good.
like
I haven't
it.
seen it.
Yeah,
I like it. I'm
they're only like 20-minute episodes, right?
25,
Yeah.
Yeah,
roughly.
I think for people like us who might actually know Native Americans, kind of know some of their, tendencies or what they do, how they say, what they eat. I mean, we have, you know,
Some of the
we're
slang.
we're in Oklahoma, so I think we see Native Americans a lot more than maybe the rest of the nation. So I think it's just interesting to kind of see the inside of it.
When I was in New
And
York a few years ago, they thought Native Americans were extinct.
What?
Yeah.
yeah, people,
Okay, well,
All right.
Yeah.
people think that there's no such thing anymore. So
but I mean, like you'll probably see a few people that you may have actually seen in real life, for that matter, when you
Funny
were
Bone,
kids and
Mike and
all
Funny
that.
Bone.
Yeah, going
Okay.
down
I'll
to
check
the
it
little
out.
flea markets
How
and
many
stuff.
how many episodes are in season 1?
9 or
10.
10, I
Oh, okay,
think.
okay, not bad at all then. Not
But
bad.
no, short seasons, but they've got good quality to it and a
Good,
lot
good.
of
That's what I
character
like.
development, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Craig, what about you? You check anything out this past week that you want to mention or recommend anybody?
Checked out Prey along with you guys. Johnny, I saw you were watching it. I was on Facebook, saw you were watching it, and I was like, it's out. So I came, immediately started watching it, got the popcorn, sat down, watched it. I agree with you guys, it was good. Kept watching the HBO
Bear.
show, The Bear. I was watching The Bear, watched a few episodes of that.
Oh, the one on Hulu about the kitchen.
Yeah, yeah. Watched more episodes of that.
You still like it?
Oh yeah.
Good, huh?
Yeah. Checked out Iron Man 2. Just rewatched that because we had kind of talked about it on the Fanboys podcast, and I wanted to go back and rewatch some of that. And then
Did you watch any more of The Old Man?
didn't watch any more of The Old Man. And then I just watched a bunch of like reruns of college football games.
It's coming.
They added the OU network Sooner Vision to ESPN Plus, so they have like a bunch of past games and stuff like that on there. So
I see
Nice,
number
nice.
6 back there.
number one on the field, number one. No, I'm just kidding.
Nice. Not too bad. Not too shabby. So should be pretty fun today. I can't wait to get into old Marcel here. But if you guys are here in the local Oklahoma City area and you need movies, electronics, cell phones, games, anything Apple, iPhones, or tablets, check these guys out. CDR Electronics here at 1604 West I-240 Service Road in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, 73159. Check them out. They have a huge selection of anything you need electronics. CDR Electronics, they serve the OKC metro area for the best value for your electronics, and always let them know that the Cine-Men movie podcast sent you. The girthiness behind me, the entire row of A24 right here, 95% of it came from CDR. So go check them out and let them know that we sent you, because it's the only place that we get some of our physical media from. But Craig,
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Zach is going to let us know that we have some facts behind Marcel the Shell. Zach, go ahead and let everybody know.
The
Yeah,
truth
so
about Marcel.
there's literally only like 4 things I could find about this movie, to be honest. I guess because it's so new and independent.
It wasn't a real shell.
It was not a real shell. I mean,
I got you there.
number
I got
one.
you there.
Speaking of which, Marcel's original shell was purchased in a hobby store. When Fletcher Camp discovered he needed additional shells during shooting, he learned that even if the shells were of the same species and purchased at the same store, the difference between them was stunningly noticeable. Eventually, he created additional shells using 3D printing techniques. When asked about the story logic behind a non-shell characters at the end, director co-writer Dean Fletcher Camp stated, quote, "If an object is neglected long enough, it develops a spirit of its own," end quote. And this is actually the 4th Johnny 824 movie to be rated PG. Manasal, The Farewell, and After Yang are all released through the company and they're PG. And according to various interviews with Jenny Slate and director Dean Fletcher Camp, The film's production lasted approximately 7 years. An outline was written and dialogue was improvised, recorded, and assembled, and this process was repeated and repeated until the entire film's dialogue was completed. After storyboarding, live action, and backdrops were filmed, the stop motion animation was done. In parentheses, on average, 5 to 10 seconds of actual film was actually done in a day's work. So
Nice.
Dang. Okay.
Nice.
But
That's why I
of,
could never do stop motion.
yeah,
speaking
it's very
speaking of rodeo cinema, Zach, you
yeah.
where can, at least locally, where can a lot of people go see this movie at?
Yeah, locally, you guys can go see Marcel the Shell at Rodeo Cinema, located at 2221 Exchange Avenue, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. They also have a different other couple films that are showing. Elvis, which I think this is going to be its last week for that. You can go see Nope, which we reviewed a couple weeks ago. Fire of Love, which is the new volcano documentary from National Geographic. And mark your calendars, guys. August the 25th at 7 o'clock. Me, Craig, Johnny, and Ed, we're going to be talking to Greg Sestero, star of The Room, and behind the New York Times bestseller novel, The Disaster Artist, which is the A24 as well. We're going to be watching The Room, and we're going to do a live Q&A. So come and join us on August the 25th.
Nice. And right now, if you take your kiddos to go see Marcel the Shell at Rodeo Cinema, you get a Marcel the Shell home kit that you get to make your own Marcel the Shell.
What happened to your shell?
I haven't put him together yet. I'm still working. I want him to be perfect. Okay. I want him to be perfect. But guys,
Oh, hi, Mark.
it is our favorite segment of the show. It is time for the top 5. All right, guys. If you haven't noticed, all these top 5s this month are going to be A24 themed. Last week, we talked about our top 5 A24 female characters. This week, I haven't let it be known yet, at least to the public, but today we are talking our top 5 A24 scores. I think this is going to be a fun conversation. There's so many different ones out there, and 90% of these A24 movies would not be what they are without their scores. I'll start off. If anybody else have any honorable mentions?
I just have one.
No.
I'm going to rapid fire through mine. The Green Knight, scored, composed by Daniel Hart, and then Spring Breakers, composed by Skrillex and Cliff Martinez. So, Zach, go ahead and rapid fire through yours.
Just real easy, real quick. The Tragic Macbeth, composed by Carter Burwell. So.
We're gonna have a lot of wandgasms too here during this A24 month, so you guys just get your towels ready. No, I'm just messing with you. Number 5.
Show.
5.
Put it away.
I'll start off with number 5. Number 5 for me is going to be a score that is just, and to me, at least in all the ones that I'm picking that I'll talk about, like I said earlier, I don't think you could have a good A24 movie without this score. So it's almost like Batman and Robin. Number 5 for me is going to be Moonlight, Nicholas Britell. I think it is a fantastic score, especially seeing young. What was his name? I just had it up. Especially seeing young. This is why I'm not. Especially seeing young Little, like the score from seeing Little, and then seeing him as he grows older and older. I think this score is just amazing in every aspect of the main character's life from young to old. So number 5 for me is Moonlight, score by Nicholas Bertel. Zach, number 5 for you.
Number 5 is going to be one of your honorable mentions, The Green Knight, composed and conducted by Daniel Hart. Like you said, Johnny, each one of these scores really just uplifts these films to a whole nother level. And I think the score for The Green Knight is definitely, it's on a mixture of like, Lord of the Rings meets, Game of Thrones almost, kind of just has that epic nature and scale of this character is going to go on a adventure where he may or may not come back. And so I think it really, it offsets the balances that you're kind of expecting when you think there's a dry spell in the movie. It kind of picks back up with the score, and I think it helps out a lot. So
Nice. Ed, number 5 for you.
Number 5 for me, I'm going to go ahead and put Bo Burnham's 8th Grade, composed by Anna Meredith. I like how it kind of follows her throughout her entire journey. I feel like some of it is very leading you. Not maybe I'm saying that wrong, but I feel like it's taking you on another side journey in a way, basically with her, and it kind of makes you feel more of her emotion, because literally that's one thing that music does that's very, very well and very good. Is make you feel emotion, and that's what it's there for. It's aggression, whether it happy, sad, doesn't matter. It's there, and it's our prime kind of thing that we've done for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So yeah, I think it's very cool to show that off and kind of help her on her journey.
Nice. Craig, number 5 for you.
I I didn't go all in on this list, so I don't want to do a disservice and just throw out a bunch of names. So I'm going to skip this top 5.
Number 4.
4,
I believe that's me. Number 4 for me is going to be Uncut Gems, composed by Daniel Lopton. I think that's how you're pronouncing it. You know what? That movie to me would not feel so anxiety like if it did not have this score. The spoiler alert, the end headshot would not feel as important without the score. Him getting chased and owing people money would not feel as important, or you wouldn't have the anxiety without the score. The creepy scene where he's in the closet talking to his girlfriend, all those have an aspect into the movie. It's just like a horror movie. The horror movie's score is like 90% of the feeling. I feel it's the same with Uncut Gems. So yeah, I almost wanted to put this score a little bit higher because I was just so impressed with how my palms got super sweaty every time the music came on. So number 4 for me is Uncut Gems, composed by Daniel Lopton. Zach?
number 4 from composed by Bobby Krilik is Midsummer. Truly, I think this really could have been number 1, but there was a couple more that kind of just beat it out at the last second. This score just puts you on an edge of nerves. It's almost in a way like a fairy tale mixed with the horror movie, and the score really just like implements that from the like scene 1 where you see that like mural, I guess is the word of basically the entire film, but at that moment you don't really realize what's going on. And then it does a very good job of balancing the drama, the horror, and almost kind of like the lightheartedness, if you want to say, in certain scenes. And I think with Ari Aster's direction and able to use a score particularly in different moments, it's very chilling. So,
Edward, number 4 for you.
Going right there with you, buddy. Midsommar, Bobby Krilik, or however you say the gentleman's name. I agree. I mean, honestly, a lot of mine are going to be kind of mentioned with emotion, but I mean that's essentially what it does. Exactly. It gets your heart beating. When the older couple is starting to fall and it just ceases for a second and then comes back. I mean, it's not very powerful when it comes back, but it's just enough of that tone to kind of.
It's a punch in the face.
Yes, it leads you into that. Basically, it's not just. Yeah, it's a hell of a film. If you've never seen Midsommar, give it a chance. It is strange to a small degree, but I mean, like, you can't go wrong with it. Florence Pugh is, yeah.
And then go back and listen to us and just listen to Craig be like, "What did I just watch?"
I mean,
that was before I got into the rest of A24.
Yeah.
Now we're all still going. What did we?
Now it's
watch?
A24 is a walk in the park, or Midsummer is a walk in the park.
Did you already watch High Life?
No.
No. Oof.
No. Did you watch it
last Sunday?
I've seen it before, but this will be my second. No, this will be my second time seeing it only. So
Craig is
kinda,
like, "Oh, I made a terrible mistake."
Yeah,
it's Robert Pattinson, so at least there's like a little bit of comfort.
Oh, there's comfort, all right. No, there's plenty of comfort.
What do you mean?
What was this? What?
Did I make a wrong choice?
You guys can find out Craig's reaction this Thursday. It's gonna be hilarious.
What's it called again?
High Life. Robert Pattinson from 2019. Number 3.
3.
Number 3 for me is going to be the score from The Witch, composed by Mark Corvin. Again, I think this movie would be dull, boring, and unappetizing if it wasn't for the score. The performances are really great as well, but honestly, during some scenes where you think is chilling and frightening, there's no frightening if it wasn't for the score. So me and Nick actually just did an episode on The Witch a few weeks ago on Friday the 14th podcast. Go check out that conversation. It was a fun conversation. But me and the guys here also talked about The Witch on our podcast a few years ago. So The Witch, man, it's a fun movie and it's a really good score. And you know what? I highly recommend, if you're an A24 fan, but you just maybe aren't into some scores, or even if you're not an A24 fan, but you love music and you love soundtracks and you love classical music, write down the names that we're talking about and go check them out on Spotify and listen to them, because some of these scores, classical music feelings. So that's number 3 for me, The Witch, composed by Mark Corvin. Zach, number 3 for you.
Number 3, I think, was your number 4. Number 5, Johnny, is Uncut Gems, done by Daniel Lopton. Just a complete sense of dread with this score. There's not a lot of action or violence really towards in the movie, until you get to certain segments in the film, especially the ending. But I mean, it really puts Adam Sandler's character in just a complete sense of, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if he's going to get the money. You don't know if he's able to get out of all these different situations, and it just keeps building and building and building until you get to the climax of the movie. And that score, I mean, you're just like gripping your armrest or your theater seat or whatever, just thinking that is Adam Sandler going to get out of this. So that one is just, I think it had to be, especially in the opening and ending sequences where it's like they're going through, like, it's like the visual of them if it going through the gym. It's like that weird, like, LSD trippy look to it. It really just sets the tone off. So,
Edward, number 3 for you.
Number 3 for me, we just did last week. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Has a few different ones that I noticed, for that matter. Andre 3000 was a part of it. So, I mean, honestly, just hearing him go is always awesome. Randy Newman, and then Sun Lux is how I think it's pronounced, at least. I've never heard them before. But that is a very crazy movie to find, out how to do it, let alone how your score is going to go, for that matter, is just amazing. It helps at times with the calm down. It helps at times with the energy, and it helps at times with just getting through the whole thing when it's just going crazy. So I mean, yeah, definitely check out the score, but at the same time, like, you might have too much of a hard time paying attention. So yeah.
Number two.
Two.
Number two for me, from the exact same composer I just got done talking about. Number two is The Lighthouse, composed again by Mark Corvin. It's another one of those movies, very dialogue heavy, very, very serious. Some funny, not, I don't think they're meant to be funny, but there's some funny moments at times. But this movie starts off strong, with a score, with, a huge, huge cinematography shot. So, again, it's just kind of like The Witch. Obviously it's the same director, but I just feel like it's, I don't think it would be as important feeling if it wasn't for the score. So number two is The Lighthouse. Zach, number two for you?
Number two is going to be actually the movie we're going to be talking about next week, Johnny. First Cow, done by William Tyler. I'll just kind of save it because I think the score for that really helps. So I'll just say my thoughts on it for next week.
That's next Thursday, August the 18th. Me and Zach talk First Cow. Edward, number three for you.
Number two for me.
Number two.
Is,
Dose.
Number two for me is going to be honestly Mark Craven's from The Witch. It's an awesome kind of feel for that matter. It gives you the creeps at the right times. It gives you the anxiety at the right time. It gives just all the correct emotions at the right time, and I think it's a masterful little score to the actual soundtrack, or to the movie. I'm sorry, but yeah, I can't say much better for that soundtrack. To be fully honest, I really can't. So yeah, The Witch.
Sorry, Ed. Johnny's counting his A24 films. He just wants to show off in front of everybody.
I don't know. You're good. He's got to show his collection off every now and then, right? Like.
How many you got?
With Men coming in the mail today, I have 80.
46.
80?
80.
80?
80.
Oh,
I have 80. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who everybody's number one score is. So number one. Number one for me is going to be The Last Black Man in San Francisco, composed by Emily Mosseri. I can't pronounce the last person's name, but the score from The Last Black Man in San Francisco, beautiful. Just like the cinematography, just like the dialogue, just like the film, amazing. And that's all I got to say about that. Number one for you, Zach.
Number one has been mentioned, The Lighthouse by Mark Corvin. I just like Uncut Gems, man. Just a unending sense of dread with this film, with the cinematography, the story, the two performances between Pattinson and Defoe. I mean, it really culminates into just a picture that I think if it wasn't done by A24, I don't think it would be as successful or as good as it really is. So number one is The Lighthouse. Ed,
Edward,
number one.
My number one is going to be mid-90s. Jonah Hill's, skate project, basically, man. Took me back a little bit, just a little bit, to the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater days. Had those brilliantly gorgeous tracks that had, rap, had rock, it had just everything thrown at you. You've got Nirvana, you've got the Tribe Called Quest. I mean, Wu-Tang Clan, Cypress Hill, Jizza from Liquid Swords coming at you. You got a lot of good stuff. So I mean, honestly, like I'm 90s music influenced very heavily, especially with hip hop, rap, whichever you want to call it. But the fact that they brought all that in and even had Summer Nova, and they even had, different things.
I think that was just the soundtrack, not the score, but we'll take it.
Missed the assignment. But even with things like Gravediggers, for that matter, that was just an awesome mix for that matter. So yeah, that would be my number one.
Nice. And guys, as always, the top 5 is brought to you by Red and Blues Pizza. Order now, 405-602-2838. You can check them out, call ahead, and get your pizza ready to go. Or visit them locally here at 4500 South May Avenue, right here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. They're open 7 days a week, from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. They also have pizzas, sandwiches, gyros, fries, girthy wings, and they just now developed a burger that's now on their menu. So if you're not into pizza, they have a lot of stuff for you as well. They also have good cheese bread, and they also have dessert. You can pick up some cinnamon sticks from there as well. So go check them out. Great pizza for your dollar. Red and Blues Pizza. It's the only pizza of the Cine-Men movie podcast. So
we need to go talk to them about naming a pizza called the top 5 with 5 toppings.
It's in the works. It's getting done. So I think it's going to be a fun, as long as there's no pineapples on the pizza. No pineapples. So yeah, that should be fun. But now, guys, let's get into the conversation. Today's episode, we are digging into a newer A24 movie as we talk Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. You can currently check it out in some of your probably smaller theaters right now. If it's still in some theaters here in the States, it's still in one here. So I would honestly highly go check it out. Check it out on the big screen before it goes away. IMDb has it at 8.2. Rotten Tomato score is at 98%, while the Metascore is at 81%, and the Google users have it at 91%. So it came out June 24th, 2022. I don't know the budget. I couldn't find the budget for this movie, weirdly enough. I've been able to find the budget for every other movie. But the box office, as we sit right now, is at $4.9 million. And usually we have director talk, but the director really has only done a few short films. The only short film he's really known for is Marcel the Shell with Shoes On from 2010. 4-minute video. You can go check it out on YouTube right now. But Marcel is an adorable 1-inch tall shell who ekes out colorful experiences with his grandmother Connie and their pet Lint. Alan, once part of a swirling community of shells, they now live alone as the sole survivors of a mysterious tragedy. But when a documentary filmmaker discovers them amongst the culture of his Airbnb, the short film he posts online brings Marcel millions of passionate fans, as well as an unprecedented dangers and a new hope at finding his long-lost family. A beloved character gets his big screen debut in this hilarious and heartwarming story about finding connection in the smallest corners. So Marcel the Shell with Shoes On stars Jenny Slate, Dean Fleischer Camp, Isabella Rossellini, Joe Gabler, directed by Dean Fleischer Camp. Fleischer, however you pronounced it. Also written and screenplay. So we all kind of technically just seen it once, really. I haven't went and saw it another times. In a few short, sweet words, Ed, as soon as the movie was over, one word to describe it would be?
Surprised.
Zach?
Sweet.
I would use the word heartwarming. If I could just use one word. Maybe technically two, but whatever. Yeah, guys, let's get into it. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. You guys go check it out currently in theaters, or it'll be available, I'm sure, soon to stream or check out physical media wise. So yeah, let's dig into it, guys. Zach, what did you kind of think whenever, we both saw the previews for this, I think, when we went to
Casablanca.
Casablanca.
It's a weird preview before that movie, but
It's
yeah,
the very first time I saw a preview for it.
yeah,
But you know what? I was like, dude, it's A24. I'm hyped for it. You know, let's
yeah,
go check it out.
yeah.
And I honestly didn't know what it would be like as a conversation piece for an episode.
Mhm.
But I think now, after seeing the movie, I think it's going to be a pretty fun conversation. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll just start off with general thoughts. This is one of those films that it's already in heavy consideration for Oscar talk. There's a lot of talk saying, is this going to be nominated for best animated feature? We can discuss it as we go along, but to me, I thought this movie had a lot of. I'm going to steal your word. It had a lot of heart, Johnny. It had a lot of ambition. It had a lot of um, just had a lot of character, for it to be just a little 1-inch shell, probably not even that big. It has so much to say about going out and doing your own adventure that it's kind of sad and sweet at the same time.
Well, it's also even like I feel like this is a movie that we need right now. Like with
Yeah.
a lot of the other with a lot of the bad stuff that's going on, whether it's in the world or even just film in general, with a lot of the dumb unnecessary stuff being put out there and published and straight to
Mhm.
streaming. Like I think this is something that we need. And you know what? Yeah, why there's movies like Super Pets or Lightyear or all those other kids movies that are going to attract the average kid moviegoer. I think I'm the only one that took an actual kid to go see this movie.
Mhm.
And honestly, she was not impressed.
Yeah.
But I think that's okay because the general more of the story is she got what was going on. Um, Spoiler alert again, if you guys follow us and you guys watch everything that we cover, which most of you do, we're at an hour and 2 minutes exactly. So go and check this movie out in theaters. Find some way to stream it. It's a good movie. So there are spoilers after this. Um, she got the basic concept. She knows that Marcel is tiny. She was like, he's gonna die. She called it. I didn't call. I mean, call it. He didn't die, but my daughter thought throughout the entire film that he was gonna die, and I was like, that's my kid. But anyway,
You're
um,
teaching them young.
but I was like, she's getting this feeling that somebody's already going to die in the movie, and honestly, she was not wrong. The grandmother passes away.
Yeah.
Um, the grandmother dies, and it really is a movie that I feel like is aimed for adults, but kids can just go and watch it and try to enjoy. Um, does anybody feel? Let's talk about. I think this movie might be just so much praise between the three. Was there anything that anybody had that was maybe disheartening about it? Maybe something you did not like about it? Zach, we'll start with you.
I honestly, and this is probably just me just nitpicking just a little bit. I mean, trying to find something. Maybe just the pacing of the movie was just a little. It kind of in between like the him searching for his family and then the 60 minutes, the big reveal with 60 minutes at the end. It just dragged just a little bit for me. Not enough to say like, okay, this is getting on my nerves, but just kind of like we get it. We get that Marcel is just this tiny thing in the larger aspect of the world. I think I understand why they kept doing it, but at the same time, it's like as an audience member, I get it. So,
My
but like I
daughter's
said, that's just a nitpick.
if I could really nitpick, I would agree with the pacing, even though it was an hour and a half. It did feel like I kept looking at my clock and I was like, is it an hour and 45? Are we sure? Is there an issue here? It did feel like it kind of dragged a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, taking the kid to go see it, my daughter was arguing with me. She was like, why are they calling it him? Why is it him? Why is it he? It's a girl. And she has no idea who Jenny Slate is, or she doesn't know anything about the cast. Did the voice mess with you guys? Because I didn't have a problem with the voice, but obviously as a little girl, she had a big issue with the voice. You know, she was like, "It's a girl. Why are they calling him a boy?"
Well, I mean, even in the movie, you know, a lot of the audience or fans or whatever have you call Marcel a girl because it has pink shoes on, and he's like, my dad did, and so did my grandpa. Like, I don't understand that, and I think that's more of kind of the innocence of direction, if you will, because it's not seeing a color as gender specific. It's seeing a color just as a color.
Yeah,
Like, okay, so what? You know,
I kind of agree with you with that. I mean, no,
I
going
think
in,
that
I
was
knew
meant
Jenny.
to be though.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I knew Jenny Slate was voicing this character, so I know it's a female giving a quote unquote little boy voice. But I mean, I think you're right, Ed. I think the shoes, I think they're supposed to be just gender neutral. It could be a girl, it could be a boy, just depending on what you think. I know they say him a lot, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I know for the first time I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, this is like a girl shell or whatever.
Would you
Well,
guys would have been fine with even them just calling it a shell and not even refer to he or she, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
it's
you
not
know,
a nip. It's not a knock for any of us. I'm just saying that my daughter, you know,
This
she
is a
was
three,
she
damn it, because of
no
this.
no. I'm just saying I only brought it up because my daughter was upset about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you look in, you know, Japanese as well as American, you know, animation for that matter, kids shows or, you know, teen shows. Young Goku was voiced by a girl or a woman. You know, Tommy Pickles from the Rugrats, voiced by a girl
Right. Yeah,
or a woman.
a lot
You
of
know,
guy characters, even from The Simpsons and stuff. I'm not saying it's like a bother
you
to
know.
anybody, but I'm just saying,
No,
you
I'm
know,
just saying it's kind of usual. Even back in the day when Peter Pan first came out, a female usually played Peter Pan,
oh my God, not
live action.
Edward is
You
bringing
know,
Peter Pan from the 30s, guys. Hold on to your seats. Marcel the Shell A24. He's bringing Peter Pan to the podcast.
but
It's so
I mean,
entertaining here.
Just got like 10 hate mails because of that.
but as far as like having nitpicks, I mean, maybe the
Did,
social media aspect of it. Like, I get it with, you know, getting the route to 60 minutes as well as, you know, the not caring about, you know, oh, you've got a mission that you're trying to do. I don't care about that. I want to see where you're at. I want to see you. I don't care what you're doing. You're a celeb now. I just want to see you, you know. And I mean,
who'd you go see this with, or did you go see it by yourself?
my wife,
What'd she think about it?
she thought it was cute, really sweet, just very nice. And
Innocent.
at first she was just like, are we really watching a movie about some little shell that has shoes walking through like a garden or something like that? Because, you know, neither of us knew the story, knew the trailer, nothing. We came
And,
into this knowing the title, and that's it, and
and
the
I
picture.
think that is what makes this month's A24 list so spectacular. You
You
know,
know, so
I think everything all at once, you guys were like, heard good things about it, but have no idea what it's about. Same thing with Marcel the Shell. Next week, I'm going in the same thing with Bodies. Um,
A very different movie compared to
yeah,
this.
and then the week after that is Men, and then the only person who really knows anything about X is Zach and Craig because they've watched it. But
But not only that, we have the Thursday episodes.
yeah, the Thursday episodes as well. This past week, me and Zach talked Spectacular Now, which, yes, true, it was a 2013 movie right when A24 kicked off. Who did I say?
You and me.
Yeah, me and Nick talked about the Spectacular Now, which at the end of the day, it doesn't even scream A24 at you. Me and Craig are talking High Life this Thursday. Me and Zach on the 18th are talking First Cow, and then me and Ed on the 25th is going to talk Under the Silver Lake with old Andrew Garfield. So it's going to be everybody has no idea what some of these movies are, and I think that's what's going to make these conversations like very, very entertaining to listen to.
It's going to be weird if the Spider-Man show up in Under the Silver Lake.
which part of what she said going into the movie was, what kind of movie is this going to be? Because she had seen Everything All Everywhere All at Once, and I think one other A24 movie, and she's
Make
like,
her watch Midsummer, okay?
she's like, this shit's so weird. You've got me watching Marvel, and I've watched Star Wars already. Now you've got me watching these weird ass A24 movies, and like, I don't know where to go from here.
That's what I'm
And
talking about.
Midsummer is like the initiation to H24.
It is the initiation.
And
If you can get
literally,
through,
like,
if you can get through Midsummer, you can get through anything.
all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
with this one, she's like, this better not be like some weird ass like shoot 'em up shell or this thing goes around trying
And
to
you
kill
know what?
everything. And I'm
Let's
just
throw
like,
some
oh.
Guns Akimbo with Marcel Michel.
You know, fantasy booking. I was like, okay, this. I know it's PG, but it's A24. I seriously thought, and I said last week or the week before, I was like, I think the shell gets stepped on. I was like, that was me for real. Like, I was like, I think he's going to die. But
we get a little bit of that, but not exactly.
yeah, you do. Well, yeah. What did you guys think, though? I want to bring up just the small funny points. And if you guys have not seen the short film, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, it's not what we're talking about, but that I watched that before we went on today. It's only 4 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, and it's perfect leading into the actual film. It's a really, really good prequel, if you want to call it that, because Marcel's just going around in the short film and saying, I use a Dorito to hang glide, or I use this and this to do this. So I highly recommend, even if you haven't seen Marcel the Show yet, just go check it out. Go watch it for a little bit. Go watch the whole 4 minute short, and it'll set you up for the movie. So I think that would be super, super fun to go watch. I wish I watched it before I went and saw Marcel.
Has anybody here watched Lucas the Spider on YouTube?
Yes.
Is it very similar to Marcel
Yeah.
in a way?
I think so. Because honestly, I even think there was a slight cameo, or like an inspiration of a cameo for that matter, with the three in the gutter. I thought that was very kind of on the nose and kind of cool for that matter, because it's the innocence as well as the purity of just a random, tiny thing experiencing the world and seeing, what life is like through their eyes or their understanding.
And honestly, like, the reason for the listeners out there, for the reason he asked that, Craig has not went and seen Marcel the Shell yet, but he's still hanging out, enjoying the conversation with us. And I honestly believe, like, we're throwing everything out there, and I don't think any of this is going to spoil it, even if he does watch it, when it hits streaming or something. Like, it's one of those movies that you really can't. Zach, Ed, you can agree with me probably. There's really nothing to spoil, even when you let the people know that the grandma dies. They hint it very, very early that she's not going to probably make it through the movie.
I work right next, like, very close to Rodeo, so I might go for lunch tomorrow. Just go see it for lunch and then head back. Yeah,
it's not very long at all. It's like an hour and 20 without credits, or without credits.
All right, fine. Thanos shows up. He snaps his fingers. Marcel disintegrates. I'm sorry, Greg, but So
No, don't let it be true.
What did you
Tony Shell? I don't feel so good.
Tony Stank.
What did you guys think of going through and just seeing Marcel going through the house, walking through, and just, what I really appreciated is through all the little stuff, like on the desks, on the bookshelves, seeing the shell go through an everyday life. To me, that was super entertaining.
Yeah,
more than the actual story of looking for the family. I don't know if you guys agree, but like, just seeing him walk through the house in his everyday life, messing with the dog licking him. It was also creepy as hell, is being a close up, seeing the little spiders and the bugs in the garden.
Oh yeah,
it was
the worm. Yeah,
it was kind of dark and creepy, and even my daughter was like super into it. She's like super creepy stuff anyway. But yeah, like, I was like, man, this is kind of dark looking, honestly.
I totally agree with you, Johnny. I think that just the everyday aspect of Marcel was very entertaining. Like the use of the tennis ball, like how he gets through the house real quick, and then the use of Honey, how he climbs up the walls. I thought was really
Hilarious.
cute.
The
And
tennis
Such a
ball,
mess.
the tennis ball,
the
it got me a second time.
the the use of the Dorito as a hang glider to get to different parts of the garden and the different parts of the house.
Or the mixer, just to get
Yeah.
it. You know.
Oh yeah, the big thing that was funny that my daughter she was, and again, Craig, you might have to take your daughter to see it, because the little kid aspect of watching this movie to me was just as hilarious as seeing the little shell do the things. The other two, Ed and Zach, I don't think you get it, but like the little kids aspect of seeing this movie, she was upset. She was like, when she saw them using the hot dog bun as the couch, she was like, "It's gonna turn green in 3 or 4 weeks, Daddy. Why are they sitting on a hot dog bun?" Like, she gets mad at stuff like that. But when
The
meatballs
practical
fall,
use.
when meatballs fall from the sky and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, she wants to take her bowl out there and have lunch. So the thing that's really exciting to me about this movie is
See
it's a
how the
kid.
brain works.
Yeah, it's a kids movie, but the way they present it to the kid is like, that would never happen in real life. But they don't do that with like Disney or anything like that. So
Yeah.
the aspect of the kid watching this movie is phenomenal to me, and
Kids are much
I want to see
smarter.
if like, Craig, if
Because
your daughter
Adley
does the
runs
same
with
thing.
everything.
Yeah, I want to see if she does the same thing, because it's just very, very interesting. And you know what, the theater we were in there was probably 9 or 10 of us, and she was the only kid in that entire theater.
Wow.
So when I went,
Zach, did you see any kids in there with you?
No, it was mostly there was an older couple behind me. There was a
Yep.
person in their mid 40s in front of me and behind me. So then that's about it.
Me and Khaleesi were the youngest. Everybody else was in their 70s or 80s. Ed, what about
Yeah.
you?
I will say that I think maybe me and my wife were about the second oldest. There probably was a mother in her 40s with her 3 sons that were
But you-
like, or no, 2 sons and daughter that were probably ranging from like 12 to 16 or 17,
Okay,
and then a couple that was like in their early 20s.
but you had
That's it.
no toddlers though.
No one under 12.
No
that I can
toddlers. Okay, yeah,
tell, at least. So no.
No toddlers. So that is just interesting to me, and I've talked to people about it at work and family members and even some emails here, and the only thing that hurts this movie, honestly, nobody knew about it. Nobody knows about it.
Yeah.
So, and I think, I mean,
I mean,
Craig
if it
and,
wasn't, I mean,
Craig and Edward, you guys go and see more of the mainstream movies like, Jurassic Park and some of the stuff that we've covered. But have you guys seen any trailers in any of the movies that you went to go see lately?
Yeah, what did we see it in?
Nope. Did we see Did we see it? The
No.
trailer in Nope. Okay.
I don't think
Yeah.
so. No.
So me and Craig saw it in Nope. Me and Zach seen it on Casablanca. Ed, you haven't seen the trailer at all before the movie.
Other than going and seeing the posters at Rodeo
Right,
Cinema,
right.
that's it.
But no trailer for you.
Where else did we see it? Did we see it at the little Comic-Con, not the Comic-Con, but the convention we went to?
No.
No.
You're talking about Dead Center. No,
Dead
I didn't see it.
Center.
At Dead
Yeah.
Center.
I think part of me thinks I saw it before Lightyear when I went and saw it. It was
Yes.
maybe I didn't. Maybe I did. But I
Yeah,
think I
yeah.
did.
Me, Zach. Casablanca was before Lightyear.
Yeah.
So that's the first time we've seen it.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I think I saw it again when I went and saw Lightyear. So
What did you guys think of just the supporting cast around Marcel? Eventually seeing the entire family come from wherever they were, wherever they were. But like, did you guys like the interactions between Marcel and the human beings?
I did. Yeah. I mean, it's mostly between Marcel and the director, Dean Fletcher Camp, basically. I like how, I think we've said it 100 times on here, but it's just basically a child trying to understand the world. The director has to explain certain things to like what a dog does or this and that, and what a car is, and they're just like, why? I think it's I think when Marcel's talking about the dog, I think it's hysterical because he's like, why do you love that thing? It's just licks you and just like gets in your stuff. It's just why.
Which one of the things about Marcel's dialogue that I really liked was the monotone of it,
Yeah.
the kind of matter of fact of it all the time, just to because this is he didn't say what was on his mind. He said what he's seen, and he said what he was experiencing, and what
Very
he thought
straightforward.
about this thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean that's the thing right there. You know, it to me it was just a wonderful thing to know what that character is literally seeing.
Yep.
You know, so I mean, you know, that and the creativity they came up with, like the tennis ball or like the spoon playing the little game with the little basketball thing, I think.
And you got to
or
see
anything.
how he dials and uses a telephone. You got to see how he's like, in the documentary short or in the short film, you're like, they ask how to use a pencil, and he's like, um, we can use a pencil, but it just takes the whole family, And in the actual movie, he uses the pencil, but he's asking the director for help, and he's like, the director's like, well, how would you do it if I wasn't here? And the
Yeah.
director, the
That would
director,
be
like a true documentarian, the director does not want to be in the movie at all.
Yeah.
Doesn't want anything to be shown. He even doesn't really want his hand to be shown picking up the pen.
that would be the only nitpick on a few things like that I would say is all. But I understand why, but that would be the only nitpick I would actually have. Would be just like,
It made the director kind of feel dickish
yeah, like a dickhead
because
for that matter.
it's not like you're
But
it's not like you're doing a regular documentary with a child and the child can
Yeah.
do most of the stuff for themselves. You're doing a documentary with a seashell, and the seashell's like, "Help me with the pen," and you're like, "I don't want to be in the documentary, no."
But I think that's like
Right.
the inside joke of it. It's a mockumentary. That's basically what I mean. Ultimately, that's what this
essentially,
is.
yeah.
Yeah. And so
Which,
it's
like-
just we're gonna tell the story of a shell, a little tiny 1-inch shell, trying to find his family that doesn't know what happened to it. And ultimately, what I think is hysterical is that it's just essentially, again, we're in spoilers, but it's just essentially a breakup. And one of the people just took all their stuff in the shell. The whole shell family was in the sock drawer and just loaded up and left. That's basically what happened to him.
dumped it in and
Yeah.
And
dose.
I wanted to do it before today's episode, but today was a crazy day. It's been a crazy week, crazy weekend. But don't laugh at me next week when I bring my seashell and I show you guys what he looks like next week during next week's episode. Or maybe I can even bring it this Thursday and show Craig on High Life. Don't make fun
Just
of me.
Crossover.
Try your best. Try your best, man. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, you guys hit it all on the mark. The funny spots, using the tennis ball, using the bottle caps, how to drink water, the passing of the grandma. Let's talk about that for just a minute, before we get a little further on. What did you guys think about, it was sad. It even shows little Marcel putting her in the flower bed, right, burying her.
Mhm.
It was a tearjerker, honestly, for me.
Craig's
Yeah,
like,
it was.
and I'm out.
It was a tearjerker, honestly, and even my daughter, she sat there and she just looked at it real close, and then she kind of heard me, and then she looked at me like, "This mother no," but yeah, it's really emotional. What do you guys think about that scene?
Honestly, man, kind of seen it coming. Once the fall happened as well as the injury.
They tease
seen it
you, they
coming,
tease it through the whole movie.
Yeah.
But what did you
but,
think
like,
about it?
It was sad because I mean it draws you in with that. You've gone what, an hour at that point with this character, because that's got to be roughly within the hour point right there, and they
Maybe a little bit
develop
before,
it
yeah.
around it, yeah.
But he
They
uses
develop it.
he uses the grandma from as being hurt and cracked, and the whole point of Marcel blowing up and going viral is he's getting on 60 Minutes, so her grandma can meet his
Wasn't
grandma
Stahl.
can meet, yeah, but
Mhm.
also so they can find their family and
The
everybody
family.
else that they lost, and
But
get
the interesting thing is like the whole aspect of the social media thing, what I thought was interesting was
Yeah.
people want to be part of it, like the phenomenon of Marcel's show, but they don't want to help him find his family. That's
Yep.
just they don't want to contribute to the real reason he's using the
Is this a
social media
Jordan Peele
platforms.
movie?
It's a
But-
sequel to No.
But that's a good point, Zach, bringing it up, because how many times do you get that in real life? People
Yeah.
want to see a good-hearted story and want somebody to succeed, but they will not help out in any kind of way.
No.
Like, one of the things that he said was, I don't want to lose something trying to look for everything and find nothing. You know, and I mean, that was an interesting line, especially with that pure of a character, for that matter, to, like, I don't want to lose you in, you know, and gain nothing from it, and now I'm left with nothing, you know, if I lose you and everything else. So it's kind of like, you know, why jump off that cliff when all I'm going to do is fall, you know, to where the Nana was like, dude, you got to do this. You're going to break my heart if you don't. So just do this for me.
Well, and that's the interesting thing, because before the grandmother dies, she's actually reading a poem, and I actually found the poem online because I was just interested in it. It's from Philip Larkin. It's called "The Trees." Johnny, I can read it if you want me to. Just kind of get
for sure.
hit the banks of it. Um, the trees are coming into leaf, like something almost being said. The recent buds relax and spread. Their greenness is a kind of grief. Is it that they are born again and we grow old? No, they die too. Their yearly trick of looking new is written down in rings of grain. Yet still the unsettling castles thresh it in full-grown thickness every May. Last year, last year is dead. They seem to say, being afresh, afresh, afresh. And that's the last. That's the last thing that she reads before she dies. She reads the poem, and then she kind of like gradually like walks off out to the distance, where she kind of like disappears into frame.
Yep.
And all that's going on during the 60 Minutes interview. So,
Which I thought that was a nice kind of send off, for that matter, just because, like, you didn't get to see, you know, her passing. Because, I mean, PG and all that, but I mean, at the same time, like, you knew what was happening. You knew exactly what had happened.
yeah.
As well as with that poem, she's
Yeah.
basically, you know, imitating life and art, for that matter. So, yeah.
Well, and I thought the poem was a great addition, just in the sense of, we're talking about a shell, and shells, they don't really die. They just kind of get stepped on or cracked, or they just kind of evolve, or they change into something else. And I think that's kind of a great addition piece to that part of the film.
Yeah.
What about you, Johnny?
The poem.
Or the poem, or the grandmother's death, or whatever.
I think
You think it was like a good. You think it was like a good addition to it?
I do. I think it's a good addition to not only showing Marcel that, hey, if you're trying to find family, or no, actually, just no matter whatever you do in life, you can't just stop, hang up, and give up, because you have a bump in the road. I think you really have to, just keep going, and I think you have to, go through so much adversity in life, and I think having this in the movie is no different than having Mufasa's death in The Lion King, or having another Disney death in any
Bambi.
other Disney movie. Yeah, it shows kids, hey, the world is a dark place out there, but it's okay, because as long as you surround yourself with people who care and you have good people around you, those hard times are not going to last. So Marcel going through that in order to get on, because his grandmother got to see what everybody and what they had been dreaming about. Him on 60 Minutes,
Yeah.
and him on the interview, and she got to meet and do all that stuff. So,
But I think it's interesting that he uses the grandmother as like an excuse not to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, she is mortally wounded, like as an audience member, she's going to die, but at the same time, he, as the character, is saying, I don't want to do it because it's just too much sensory overload for her. It's just too much going on at that moment. But in her mind, it's just like, no, you got to do this. You have to move on. You have to go find our family, essentially.
And I think even with that, it wasn't necessarily just her, but I think it was just like Marcel afraid to leave her alone
Yeah.
and afraid to not be there, and essentially abandoning her is what he feels like, I think, in that aspect, because people have been there. You don't want to leave that person in their time of need. So yeah.
Yeah. And I like how overall this is just kind of a I put in my notes an unconventional adventure. Unconventional adventure. You're talking about a shell that's just at the end of the day just trying to find his family, but in the grand scheme, he's just this little 1-inch cell compared to the entire world. Him just going using the tennis ball to get to different parts of the house. That's just adventure on itself. But when you take him outside and take him in a car and take him to go see the mountains, that's just I think even him as a character is like this is way too much. Can we just go back to the house?
How
And
hilarious is it when you see Marcel get car sick?
Yeah.
That was kind of like, okay.
Like 3 or 4 times, and you have
Sorry.
to look really close
Sorry.
or you'll miss it because of
Yeah.
how small the little throw up is. So yeah.
We lied to you, Craig. It's not an A24 movie. It's a Tarantino film.
But it's honestly after the grandmother dies and after he goes in the car ride, it's a very simple, complex, gets you through. He ends up finding his family, and you really do have a happily ever ending story. Um, 2 more questions, and I'll ask you guys some of your favorite scenes. What did you guys think of the 2 songs, the little performances by Marcel, "Linger," and then the other song that he sang in front of the family?
That to me, I mean, it's an emotion. It's emotional tribute just to the grandmother and kind of his arc as a character. I probably could have done without it. I think you could have cut those 3 minutes and you know
Zach's
he
evil.
yeah
Zach's evil.
I'm evil yeah. But I mean it's just I get why they did it, but at the same time it's like I don't know. I think you could have just had the character Marcel be with his family and that just sums it up perfectly. So what about you, Ed?
uh, I don't mind it. I mean, like, I kind of feel like the whole, like, what was it? The whole social media thing gone on a little too long. They didn't really have to use all the people like taking photos and pictures and like videoing and then even scaring Nana for that matter. They didn't really have to do all that. I get why it progressed the story along. In her arc for that matter, as well as like his arc of going from one thing to another. Uh, but as far as that goes, I mean, you show that human emotion for that matter within that character, and that makes your audience gravitate more to that character for that matter. So it kind of just brings you into a feeling of bond for that matter with that character. So I get why it's in there. I didn't feel like it dragged. Um, I thought it was fine.
Zach, yeah. So again, for everybody who hasn't seen this movie, go check it out. Currently in local theaters, or should be hitting streaming here pretty soon. Ed, we'll start with you. Favorite scene?
I would probably say, um, probably the end scene whenever everybody's found, for that matter, because you get to look and see all the little different
Family members and
pieces.
gadgets.
You know, because I'm not trying to be whatever with this, but was the one white thing a tampon?
Ed would
No.
catch this. No, Ed.
No.
Dude, I swear it had a tail. I swear it had a tail. Like when they're just
Leave it to Ed to put the vibes in A24 movie.
That was
There
the
were
vibe of
supposed
it.
Ed. There were supposed to be no vibes, A24 vibes in this movie, and you're over here talking about a tampon.
I swear it was one, man. Like I swear it was.
It's not Sausage Party, dude. It's not that.
It did remind me of that, though. To be fully honest, it really, really did.
Zach, what about you? Do you have any favorite scene?
Probably just the montage of him just trying to live in his everyday life and using everyday household objects to get around, whether it be the tennis ball or a spoon or a Dorito. I thought those were kind of really creative ways of how to get a character that's only 1 inch tall in life around a big house.
Yeah. If I had to just pick one favorite scene, it would be the car ride scene. I think it's fun just seeing Marcel going and doing everything that you wouldn't expect to see him or that kind of thing doing. But yeah, I think it's a very, very entertaining scene, and car ride was real fun to watch. So if you guys have any favorite scenes out there, let us know in the emails, hit us up on the social media, and we can talk about some favorite scenes. Ed, star rating 1 through 10.
7, to be honest. It's not necessarily something that I would go back and see again, just because it's kind of it's a very unique film. It's a very sweet film and a very, very well done film for what it is, for that matter. But yeah, I enjoyed it, but it's not something that I'm just going to be going back to.
Out of a lot of the animation movies that have been out, animated movies, I think this is one of the only ones that have meaning, that has a good story behind it, and has good character arc, and not to mention the cinematography and score. I'm gonna give this movie a 9. It's in, it's out, it doesn't drag. It's, I guess, an hour and 25 minutes, so you're not just sitting there kind of pacing yourself back and forth. Marcel the show is fun. And then like we said, this movie flies by because of all the nice little cool things that he does. Using the honey to walk up and down, get on the walls. It's just all that small stuff is just really, really entertaining. So I'm gonna give this movie a 9. Zach?
Yeah, I'm gonna be right there with you, Johnny. I'm gonna give it a 9 as well. I think the character of Marcel the Shell is interesting. I mean, I don't think it needs like a whole cinematic universe, but I think this one film it's interesting, and I enjoyed the not the theological, but just kind of like the emotional aspects of it. I think this is a very, very mature kids film. I don't know, like you said, Johnny, I don't know if all kids are going to gravitate towards this. I think they're going to understand the messaging, but they don't care overall about it. But I mean, for it to be A24 film, I think they really knocked out of the park. So,
And I'm really interested. We haven't gotten a lot of emails about Marcel the Shell, but I'm going to be interested in the next few weeks to see what kind of feedback we get, because I think it's one of those movies that is hard for people to go out and just find.
do you think it's going to be nominated for Best Animated Feature?
No,
No,
I don't.
think so either.
Just because technically it
It's
was
not-
released. It was released at a film festival in September.
Well, I just don't think there's just enough animated scenes in the movie to qualify it for it to be animated.
I think you can qualify it, but technically it came out in September 2021 at a film festival. So I don't know if that counts or not, but it technically is not in the timeline of an Oscar film.
Yeah. I mean, if it does, I mean, that's awesome for them. But I mean, I don't know what else animated films we got coming out this year. But I mean, in terms of what I've seen so far, I think it's definitely one of the better ones I've seen. So,
agreed. Everybody out there can send us in your thoughts, your star ratings on Marcel the Shell. If you can find it, awesome. If not, it will be available soon on streaming, I'm sure. Let us know your star rating on Marcel the Shell. Send us in at cinemen921@gmail.com as we're in the mailbag.
The mail's here.
So send us in some emails, and we will read some of them aloud every Monday. Um, Kendall says The Spectacular Now was a fantastic first time watch for me, and thank you for the recommendation. I definitely HBO maxed it up. 10 stars. Sam G69 says The Spectacular Now gets a 9. Great movie. Never seen it before. Can't believe it went under my radar.
That's not loud.
Daniel says Miles Teller is the man. Love The Spectacular Now. I could watch it over and over again. 10 stars. Omar says I've seen Bodies, and what a film. I cannot wait to hear you guys' conversation next week. 9 stars. Sarah 97, The Spectacular Now is just as good as the book. 9 stars.
Got a lot of Spectacular Now love.
Everything Everywhere All at Once was a trip, but it was weird. I don't know if I like it or love it. I don't know where I even stand on the movie. 6 stars. You know, for everybody who may not have got to listen to that episode because of just some of the audio issues, you know, looking back at the conversation, it was kind of I don't want to say it was a rough watch for us, but it was one of those movies where we still don't know where it really ends up as far as like, I want to like it. It looks like it can be great, but I'm not in love with it.
Yeah.
I was just kind of wore out on it with how many times I watched it, like almost essentially in a row.
Right,
But after thinking about it, and kind of, you know, joking around with a buddy of mine, I don't think that is necessarily a movie that you can like or love. It's just one you have to enjoy, if that makes sense. Like you're not gonna. Go ahead, Zach.
I was just gonna say, I think you just have to go in with an open mind about it. Honestly,
Yeah, like it's just there. It has all the qualities of a good film, but it feels like it's lacking some qualities of things that make you attached. And so it's enjoyable to watch, but there's no attachment to it because maybe all the characters are so new. I don't know. New, weird. It's, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Nathaniel says my top 5 A24 female characters are Lady Bird, number 4 Danny from Midsummer, number 3 Thomason from The Witch, number 2 the mom from Hereditary, number 1 the daughter from Hereditary. Let's see. Steven says, bro, how have I not seen The Spectacular Now? 9 stars. Amazing film. Philip says, all the DC films will be trash except for Black Adam. Rest in peace, DC, and soon to be anything that comes out of Warner Brothers' ass. What do you guys think? Do you guys think Warner Brothers is at that point now? There's a lot of talk that maybe they're selling because of the whole company issue. They're having issues with HBO Max. They're taking that away. They're giving more power to, you know, essentially non-investors of HBO Max, and therefore it's going to Discovery Plus. Even the whole word, they're using the word plus with Discovery now. There's even talks that they're going to sell to Disney. Me personally, I don't think it's going to happen. But the ship is definitely floating not the way they want it to, probably.
I don't necessarily think they're selling to Disney. I don't think that's going to be the future of it. I do think, however, that they are possibly going to sell to who. I don't know, but I don't think they're going in the right direction for that matter. Just because like they do some things right and they'll do a lot of things wrong, and then one thing right and mega right, and then a lot of things wrong. You know, so I mean, as long as they keep like Robert Pattinson as the Batman and maybe, you know, expand on the Snyderverse or, you know, even redo all of it, I don't know.
But it doesn't look good as a company that basically trashed the entire universe that not built the company, but basically brought them in a lot of money, and say, oh, we did the Snyder cut of Justice League, but that's it, and then say, wait, literally a whole year and say, oh, no, we're gonna go back to that now. It's just like, dude, you can't go back on that. Number one, makes you look bad as a company, but number two, it's just like, at this point, I don't think anyone cares. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think anyone cares about the Snyderverse or anything like that. They want like just their own individual films, and you don't need to do a multiverse or whatever.
Yeah, at this point, technically that whole Snyderverse started in 2013 with Man of Steel. We talked about a few weeks ago. It's been almost 10 years. I'm done, honestly. And I'm a huge Batman fan. I'm a huge DC fan. But you know what? If the only thing that's coming out that's making money is Pattinson or the Joker 1 and 2, then you definitely if you do rebrand and restart the entire thing, I feel like you need at least a 5-year break.
Well, and the other thing is, don't freaking keep teasing Henry Cavill as Superman when I don't think he himself even knows he's going to come back. He wants to come back, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. So. Coco Chris says, I usually don't like chick flicks, but The Spectacular Now is a good movie. 9 stars. Miles Teller got in that. I don't want to finish that sentence for that word. Eric says, it's A24 month. Have you guys ever seen Enemy with Jake Gyllenhaal? Crazy, crazy film. Has a whole new word to the word Spider-Man. If you guys haven't seen it, I don't know. I've only seen it one time, but I kind of get what he's saying. Enemy, Jake Gyllenhaal. I don't know.
I've been wanting to see it, but I just haven't got a chance to see it.
That's another thing. All these A24 movies are, going towards HBO Max. So we'll see what happens in the near future. But I think it's been
just reach into the camera and just grab one off the shelf right there.
Yeah. It was interesting. So I'm interested to see where this month takes us. Next week, guys, we interested in Bodies with Pete Davidson, horror movie, brand new, A24, hits theaters this Friday. We'll start with you, Ed. You excited?
Yeah, man. Can't wait for the soundtrack. We'll see how that goes. But yeah.
Anything you want to add to the episode before we head on to Bodies next week?
Man, just take care of each other. Maybe pay attention a little bit more to the little folks in your life. But other than that, man, this is Ed saying I'll see you on the silver screen.
Craig, what about you? Bodies this weekend?
Yeah, man, I'm excited to watch it. Another film that looks to be promising. R.I.P. to the Kim K, Pete Davidson romance. It was 9 months. But yeah, just excited for next week.
And this is, Bodies is a movie that's hitting theaters nationally. So go check it out in theaters. It hits theaters this Friday, August the 12th. So check it out. Craig, you have anything you want to add on to this episode before we go on to next week? Before High Life?
I just talked about Kim K and Pete Davidson.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, no.
We got High Life this Thursday.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch that. I just watched the trailer not too long ago when I stepped away for a second. So, yeah, just excited for Thursday.
Yeah. Bodies next week. Zach, what about you? You have anything you want to add on to Marcel's show? And are you looking forward to Bodies next week?
Yeah, I'll just kind of copy what Ed was saying. Just take care of yourself, take care of others. Just a insane world that we live in right now. So just look out for your neighbor. Bodies. I don't know. I think
the opposite of what you're saying.
Yeah, basically, out of all the films we're doing, I think this is the one I'm like, I don't know, but going in with an open mind, and we'll see what happens.
All right, guys, I'm excited. Not only is it a brand new A24 movie, but it's getting a lot of exposure, and it's Pete Davidson, and it's technically a horror movie, and it looks like it has Spring Breakers vibes. So I'm all excited for it. Bodies, 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 next Monday, August the 15th. Catch me and Craig this Thursday as we talk High Life, 7 o'clock Thursday, August the 11th, right here on the Cine-Men Movie Podcast.